Hi, I'm Dan from Linear Gliders, and today I'm doing another series review, Punisher Max. Now, Punisher Max is not to be confused with the Punisher Max series. For those who don't know, the Max comic series is a Marvel brand, and it's basically like the R-rated version of their comic books. Regularly with comic books, curse words such as the F word and things like nudity aren't really shown. Here, there is, it's clearly shown very violent content, as well as nudity, and they can say the F word, and pretty much any word that you wouldn't be able to say in regular comics. The Max license has been around for a while. There's like multiple series. There's the Wolverine, Deadpool, and a few others. The main popular one is the Punisher. However, Punisher Max is kind of its own standalone story from beginning to end. It's really hard to determine whether it's set in the Max universe or if it's set in the original Marvel universe. This one basically stands on its own. It explains the last few years of Frank Castle's life as the Punisher. Now, that's not really much of a spoiler, that's kind of in the main summary of the series. It explains Frank Castle's last few years of his life as the Punisher, and basically what goes on. It's really interesting to see an older version of Frank Castle. He's not as fast as he used to be, and he's not as, I guess you'd say, powerful as he used to be. He's kind of like, his old age is kind of getting to him. I think like it's mentioned that he's like in his 60s in this series. So his age is kind of catching up with him, and he's trying to take down the big criminals that he's hasn't been able to catch before. We do see familiar faces in here. We get to see Kingpin, Elektra, Bullseye, and many other of his characters that we've come to know from the Punisher series. So we kind of get to see him fight those characters. Its name being Punisher Max is without the and just Max, no spaces. It stays true to the Max style of comics, and it is explicit with stuff like that. Like, there's one scene I can remember that's very violent, where, like, Elektra gouges a dude's eyes out, and you actually see the eyeballs pop out. I'm not going to show it here. I'll let you look at that for yourself. But the story is actually really good, and I enjoyed it to see, because it's kind of cool to see that Punisher is trying to finish basically his war against crime that he started so many years ago. And I would have to say, it's pretty interesting about the mark that he leaves on the world after his death. They do show that here in the epilogue, and the thing is, I kind of think that was kind of cool that they showed us that, of the impact that he kind of left on the world after he was gone. If you're a fan of the Punisher series, I would definitely suggest checking it out. And there's also one cool story arc where the Punisher actually goes to prison. Something I never thought I'd ever see is the Punisher actually going to prison. And let me tell you, if you think the Punisher going to prison is bad for the criminals, you're kind of right. It's kind of the whole, he kills his criminals, so the thing is there's not really anyone that he's put away because he doesn't put them away. But there are people who want revenge for the people that he has killed. Like, I think like one of the people was like a brother of someone else that he had killed. So he wants to get revenge on Frank Castle. So I would definitely suggest checking out the Punisher Max series if you're curious about how the Punisher's life comes to an end. I'm not going to spoil how he dies. Alright, I'll let you find that out yourself by reading it. But it's definitely a great series. There are several volumes. This is the final volume. I think there's 5 in total, and a complete thing of 22 issues. I think also one of them is a Christmas special, so if you're So that's kind of interesting. I did not read the Christmas special, unfortunately. But yeah, the Punisher Max. If you're a fan of the Punisher and you like the Max series of the Punisher, I would suggest definitely checking out this one-shot series of Punisher Max. It's one I highly recommend. Man, it's probably one of my favorites, honestly. Unfortunately, I do not know what universe it fits in, as I mentioned before earlier. But definitely a read. I recommend it. Till next time, keep reading.